Day 24 is not like any other day of the shutdown. It marks the first week federal workers are not getting a paycheck. I'm Harris Faulkner. You are in the Faulkner Focus. Government employees suffering during this shutdown almost got some help. U.S. Senate Republicans held a vote yesterday on their bill that would have paid essential workers, including our military personnel, men, women in active duty, air traffic controllers, and some of their staffs that do the great job of keeping us safe, their engineers, their technicians, and federal law enforcement. But Democrat senators blocked that shutdown lifeline. Now criticism is growing. A new op-ed titled "Schumer's Shutdown is Leaving Our Troops and Their Families High and Dry." Another grim milestone if all of this continues. Federal food assistance, SNAP, will begin running out by November 1st. Food insecurity is a real thing in this country. This cannot happen. This key point now in an article you see on the screen. The shutdown cliff that could hit Democrats hard. Here's Republican Senate Majority Leader John Thune.
I don't know how you explain, if you have any federal employees, how you would vote against something that would make sure that in the middle of a government shutdown, if they continue to work, that they get paid. For the life of me, again, I think the other side is in a very bad headspace right now to vote against something like that.
Senior congressional correspondent Chad Pergram on Capitol Hill. Chad.
Harris, good morning. No paychecks for federal workers today. It's the first missed federal payday. The Senate rejected a plan to pay essential workers who are on the job during the shutdown. Only 3 Democrats supported the bill.
We're trying to find any way to sort of ease the burden that are on the people who are working now aren't getting paid because of the Schumer shutdown. This really isn't rocket science. They need to come to kind of a come to Jesus moment here.
Democrats are still demanding money to offset the cost of Obamacare, but the deadline for open enrollment is November 1st, so it's impossible for Congress to act. Democrats use the deadline to fund the government to make the case for Obamacare.
Shutdowns are terrible, and of course there will be, families that are going to suffer. We take that responsibility very seriously. But it is one of the few leveraged times we have. It is an inflection point in this budget process.
Now, food aid expires late next week. Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin seized on Clark's comment. He declared a state of emergency to feed the hungry in the Commonwealth. Democrats are concerned about food aid, too.
It concerns me because in Illinois, there are 1.9 million who receive SNAP, and if we don't get this resolved by November 1st, there's questions whether they'll get any payment at all.
There's now concern about flight delays and safety caused by the shutdown. GOP Senator Ted Cruz of Texas has a bill to pay air traffic controllers. Harris?
That's what you're thinking.
All right, Chad, thank you very much. And he's just sat down with me now. Republican Senator of the great state of Oklahoma, James Lankford, is here, and he sits on the Senate Finance and Homeland Security Committees. Look, you and I were just having an off-camera conversation. I want to get into the nitty-gritty about why something like this would not pass.
Right.
What happened that we couldn't give, and I'm calling it a shutdown lifeline, to those workers?
So what Ron Johnson, his senator from Wisconsin, what he brought was a very simple idea. If you're working, you get paid. At least do that for those air traffic controllers, those federal law enforcement, those members of the military, that's Capitol Police. If you're working right now, you should at least get paid to do that as a baby step. And it was literally an olive branch to be able to reach out to Democrats and say, I know you don't agree to open the government up, but at least let's do this. They came back and said, no, we want something to be able to prevent the president from laying anyone off. If we can't prevent the president and actually block him from actually doing what the executive does, then we're not going to do this either. So this has been this crazy thing. Every time we start to make an offer on something, they change what they're going to ask for.
But Senator, I mean, that's like the clean CR. You're handing them something that it's a lifeline for those people who are working. And it's so true. If you are working, we get paid when we work.
Right.
right? But the 10,000 in reduction in force, that's what I want to ask you about. So that's something that they want to try to block, even though that's not part of just paying the people who need to be paid.
It's not even connected to this. It's not even connected to this. This is just the president doing what the president does. When Bill Clinton was president, they reduced force 700,000 federal workers. You know, there's a dramatic. Everybody talks about the reinventing government. That's right. That was their guy for it. But now, when it's President Trump doing it, it's like, I don't like how they're doing it. I don't like where he's doing it. So he's trying to be able to block him in every step.
This hurts. I mean, this hurts to know that there are military families, that there are others out there on SNAP and WIC. I mean, Senator.
Let me give you an example of this. I know a family that both the husband and the wife both work for the federal government. She is pregnant with their first child right now, and they do not have a check for either one of them coming in while they're expecting their first child. They're not the only couple that's like that out there. I know another person that she is a single mom. Got an offer to be able to go to the air traffic control training facility, learn how to be an air traffic controller. Okay, she's a single mom, just quit her job so she could move and take this new one, canceled her lease so she could move, and now what happens? I mean, this is very real all across the entire country for folks that are out there. And I'm not one of those folks that belittles federal workers. A lot of them say, I never served in the military, but I still want to serve my country. I'm finding other ways to be able to do it. Great. We want good people in all these roles, but to be able to say, I'm not going to pay you every once in a while really causes real harm.
You know, speaking of movement, any kind of way to keep this from happening in the future?
Oh, yeah. I actually have a way. That's what's for me, that's one of the painful things about this. I've had for several years a bill that says if we get to a moment like this, and there'll be another one in the future at some point, that the government stays open at current funding levels, but members of Congress, both House and Senate, have to be in session 7 days a week. We cannot move to anything other than appropriation bills. It kind of locks us in a box and says everyone else is held harmless. You folks do your stuff on it. Have the fight. The fight needs to be there. We're $38 trillion in debt. Last session, I had 57 votes for that. Okay, I need 60 to be able to move in the Senate.
Who held out?
Democrats held out.
3 Democrats.
No. Yeah, we needed 3 more Democrats on it. We had 10 Democrats total that joined us on that. But I need 3 more Democrats to be able to get onto that, to be able to have it, or we literally wouldn't have this shutdown right now. We'd have already prevented it. It's a very simple idea. It's not a partisan idea. It doesn't solve every problem. It just solves this one. We can't ever have government shutdowns. Quite frankly, it's what my mom used to do when my brother and I would get in a fight in the living room. She would say, you guys take that to your room, go fight it out over there, and when you're done, come out here, don't disturb the rest of the family. That's all this bill does. We need to have the budget fights, but don't hurt everybody else in the country and federal workers while you're having it.
Great mom.
Yeah, great mom.
Very blessed. Look, what you're talking about is that you were closer to getting that bill done, a protection bill for government workers who are, I mean, they are the lifeline. If we can't take off at airports, if we start to see what we've seen in past shutdowns and we have ground stops, we've started to have them, actually. We had a couple yesterday.
We have several slowdowns.
Yeah, I mean, that sort of thing really hurts the entire country. So you had 3 votes shy of that. Now you're what, about 5 shy of the CR?
Right.
So it was easier to get that done than it is to reopen the government.
Well, that was actually in the last session on it. Yeah, well, I'm pushing to be able to bring that back up again. This one, say, let's not just solve this shutdown. Let's make sure we never have one again.
Fabulous. Now let's talk about something tough, too. ICE. This is some shocking new video out of California. Let's take a look at it. We've got some reporting coming up on this, but I just wanted to get your quick thought on what's happening. I mean, those are some more workers who were putting their lives on the line, Senator.
Not being paid right now.
Not being paid as of today.
Right. Not being paid up today and protecting the country and the nation. When a truck like that approaches you, you never know what is inside that truck. Is that a person? Is that a bomb? What is inside that truck that's coming at you on that? People forget that it was a truck very similar to that is what took down the Murrah Federal Building in Oklahoma City. That killed 168 people. That is very commonly what was used in Iraq to be able to attack our soldiers there in Iraq, where they'd have explosives in a vehicle to come to a checkpoint to be able to take them out. So that's a very serious event.
Yeah, I was there. I was a young reporter in Kansas City. We helicoptered in only about 3 or 4 hours to get there. And we were some of the first of those local close-in news reporters to get in. And I remember that. And you're absolutely right. I mean, that's some deadly stuff.
It is.
Thank you. Real quickly, next steps. What's next?
Next steps, we try to get everybody still talking. We say to our Democratic colleagues, as of Saturday of next week, SNAP benefits in for tens of millions of Americans, and they don't have access to food. Is that really what you want at this point? So we have continued to offer them. Let's just keep it open and keep talking.
Senator, thank you.
Thanks.
All right.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.